What is up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of JV's Jams. This is episode 2 right here. Now, a little recap about what this whole segment is. It's basically me going through the various albums that I've been listening to and giving you guys maybe some suggestions depending on your taste of what you guys like. Now, another heads up, it's not all K-pop or it's not all K-rap, so keep that in mind. If you're only into that specific genre, we're gonna have a mix of genres here. So today I got some more albums. I have 5 albums and a couple other suggestions if you have any time of what I've been listening to. The first one, Mac Miller's Good AM. Now, a little background. I think this is his formal debut on a major label. He joined Warner maybe in 2014 or something like that. And I've been a big fan of his works everywhere. Back from his Blue Side Park, the Kids mixtapes, his Delusional Thomas stuff, and right now, Good AM is fresh off the back of his last mixtape, Faces, and that came after his album Watching Movies with the Sound Off. To me, both projects were really good, but they were a little underwhelming in certain aspects. Faces was a little lengthy in my opinion, but I was actually a really big fan of it, and so now we got Good AM, and I have to say that this album is so dope, man. I'm a big fan. This is Mac at his best. His lyrical game is up for sure. His production, it's jazzy, warm production on it. You got great features on it. I mean, really interesting feature list actually. On Good AM, we got Lil B. I mean, we got Chief Keef on one song, Miguel on one song, and then I forget the last person, but they're really dope, like interesting kind of combos that he put together for this album, and I was actually a big fan. Length was appropriate, production was really high quality, and I thought there was no real like skippable tracks on it for me. Like there was no track where I was listening to it, I was like, oh no. He does flex his vocal chops on here, which I'm not necessarily the hugest fan of Mac Miller singing, but again, to me it never got overwhelming or anything like that. So check out. We got Mac Miller's Good AM. Second album, we got JRoc's 90059. Big fan of this guy. If you're not familiar with him, West Coast MC, part of the collective of TDE and Black Hippie, along with Kendrick, Schoolboy, Absol, Isaiah Rashad, and SZA. And this is, it's finally his turn. This has been long awaited. People have been waiting, hot off the back of some really dope singles, 90059, Vice City, and then another one, Money Trees Deuce. So I'm just a huge fan of this album. I've literally been having it in rotation, like right after another, one after another. I loved it so much. And great production on it, really warm. Now, you have to keep in mind, JRoc has like a really gritty street sound to him. I mean, he's super narrative based. So going into this, I've heard some people be like, oh, well, is it better than To Pimp a Butterfly? I think those are way different albums. To Pimp a Butterfly is definitely going for a more, social conscious kind of direction. This one, to me, if anything, would be compared to better, like maybe a Good Kid, Mad City, for example. Really telling that heavy street narrative. And just really great performances by everybody. Isaiah Rashad, SZA. Vice City is one of my favorite tracks on the album. Probably it's between that and 90059. I really love just that harsh flow that he has on 90059. So JRoc 90059, check it out if you haven't thus far. It's absolutely fantastic. Third album, we got Fetty Wap's debut album, Fetty Wap. Now, if you have listened to his previous singles like 679, again, Trap Queen, My Way with Monty and Drake, RGF Island, he's had a plethora of singles dropped before this album. If you liked those songs, then you're gonna like this album. It's really like A and B, like they are together. This album is very Fetty Wap. He doesn't necessarily do anything that astonished me, but I thought it was just a really fun, easy listen from beginning to end. He's native of Paterson, New Jersey, kind of like a vocalist / rapper, but I would put him more in the vocal range. He's not a direct singer. I would compare him to someone, not that they sing alike, but the way they kind of go about their songs, maybe like a Ty Dolla $ign kind of guy, who kind of like rides that line of hip hop and R&B. And been a real big fan of him since like May 2014 when he dropped the Trap Queen music video that I kind of just randomly stumbled across, and I've been following him since, and I was able to pick up the album and I was like, yo, this is really great listen, great production. It was nice hearing him with just solid production behind him. Because not that his other stuff was low budget, but this is like, you know, he finally got some money behind him and he really got himself a nice cohesive project that again, it's not blowing anybody's minds, but I think it's a nice album to just bump in the whip for sure. That bass rocks, you know, some great slapping tracks on there, and I would highly suggest it. Again, if you've heard his tracks and you liked it, go for the album. If you listened to them and you weren't impressed, then I wouldn't recommend this album, because it's definitely all in the same vein of those singles. Alright, so that's Fetty Wap's self-titled debut album. We got the fourth album, Gary's 2002. Now, if you're not familiar with Gary, he's a Korean MC, part of the hip-hop duo Lee Sang, and a while back he dropped his Mr. Gay mini album that I was actually a really big fan on. It was like 4 or 5 tracks, 4 maybe, and it had my favorite song of 2014 on it, Shower Later. Absolutely fantastic. And so finally we got him with a full album here. Great tracks. Jay Park is on it. Great singles. He's been dropping music videos for it, and he dropped JRoc with Jay Park, and BewhY's on it too. Great vocalist that I learned was actually like part of like the whole voice competition over there in Korea. She sounds absolutely fantastic on this album. This album, everything from the production to his flow, it's versatile, it's warm. I would highly suggest it. So, yo, Gary's 2002. Not much to say about it, but I would highly suggest you check it out. It's one of the better albums to come out of Korea this year. Last album we got is BewhY's Time Travel. Now, BewhY, Korean MC / producer, you know, over there, really killing it. Absolutely killing it. I've been a big fan of him. For you guys who are not too familiar with the Korean rap scene, I'd liken him to maybe a Travis Scott kind of figure that, you know, is heavy in the production game, great production, and is now kind of dabbling in the rapping thing. And BewhY's album is absolutely fantastic. Incredibly, that song Waltz, oh my god, like everything is, and he's fresh off the single In Trinity. This is not on the album. This album is actually not that new, but I finally was able to get to it, and I've been bumping it. Yo, Time Travel is absolute a slapper. It has everything from some lower key tracks, some heavy trap production, some kind of like off key, kind of like a waltz production on the song Waltz. It just shows his versatility, his real knowledge for hip hop and music as a whole, and his rapping ability. I mean, everything from his chop flow to something a little bit lower key where he's really vibing out on that beat, man. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, BewhY was really doing his thing on this album. And now is for the second half of this video where I just got a couple suggestions for you guys. Now, the first suggestion I would have is something that's been all over social media, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but I've also been rocking it lately, and it's the Drake Future album collaborative, What a Time to Be Alive. You know, Drake, Toronto-based MC, been really killing it. Obviously, y'all know who Drake is. In Future, you know, based out of Atlanta, and he's been really killing it down there. They're fresh off, you know, projects. Drake has his, if you're reading this is too late, Future fresh out of DS2. Both of them super hot right now. Why not make an album? You know, the first time I listened to this album, I did think it was a little underwhelming. It did seem like it was just a whole bunch of DS2 throwaways with Drake put on it. But after a couple times listening to it, and also including, you know, the solo tracks that they have, the Future only track and then the Drake only track, freestyle at the end, I was like, you know, this is actually a pretty good project. I was rocking it on the way home from work, and I was like, yo, like, this is a good album. I think it's a good album. It's not necessarily mind-blowing. They're not doing anything else that we've never seen before. This is, you know, Drake on his trap shit, where this is not, you know, Marvin's Room Drake, or this is not anything, you know, blowing you away with lyrical content. But I think, you know, this is, if you're a Drake fan, you're a Future fan, this is what you wanted, you know what I mean? And I thought it was a nice little album, a nice little thing for the fans for sure, that I thought was pretty good. So if you have a little extra time, check out What a Time to Be Alive. Next one, we got Big Graham EP. Now, Big Graham is actually a collaborative group between Big Boy of Outkast and Fantagram. Kind of like that. They're like a electronic pop rock kind of collective group. And so they teamed up Big Graham with their self-titled EP, and it's absolutely fantastic. On this EP, you have features from Skrillex and Run the Jewels. I believe it's both Killer Mike and LP from Run the Jewels on this album. So if you haven't checked it out, it's short. It's like 6 or 7 tracks, and I would highly suggest you check it out. I mean, if you have a little extra time, man, great production on this. The standout track for me was definitely the last track, the Skrillex produced one. Oh my god, that thing bumps. It almost has like a Baltimore like club kind of breakdown, you know, the do 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 thing. I love that rhythm there, and it was absolutely fantastic album. So if you have a little extra time, and if you're like me and you love yourself some old school hip hop, BewhY, I mean, we've been waiting for some new stuff since like what, 2012 was the last time he put out an album. So yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't thus far. And then lastly, we have an album that is not new, but I was finally able to bump it, and we have Monochrome by Kohh. Kohh is a Japanese MC, rose to like mainstream prominence through the Ichima song, the original, not the remix. Followed up with he was on the track Hiroi Sekai with Andy Belanakis actually, that, and J Stash. That was actually pretty interesting. He was in a Vice documentary, if I'm not wrong, about like kind of like the ghettos of Japan that he was in. So I mean, he's been in a number of things, and now this is his album Monochrome with the like, it has like the songs like Fuck Swag is I think the more most known song off this album. And it was just absolutely fantastic. I mean, it kind of showed me a side to him that I'd never seen before, a lower key one, you know, narrative driven, really focusing on like vibing out on that beat that I'd never actually heard before on all his singles. So this album was actually a really enjoyable experience for me. So if you have not heard it thus far, Monochrome by Kohh, I would highly suggest it. And so that's all the suggestions. I'm going to read you guys the projects again one more time, and again, it's going to be in the description below if you have any questions. First, we got Mac Miller's Good AM, JRoc's 90059, Fetty Wap's self-titled album, Gary's 2002, BewhY Time Travel, the Big Graham EP, Kohh's Monochrome, and then I by mistake skipped Drake and Future actually before. So that's all the albums I've been bumping lately. Let me know what y'all been bumping in the section below. Let me know what's up. Till next time, this is JV. I love you guys. Bye.